unless we got somebody else that prior to their. So you just want the signature page?
Yeah, I don't need all the rest of that crap.
Got it.
I got it in spades. About checks?
Yes.
Do you need an actual letter or is it email?
All right.
They're not paying attention.
That's all right. We'll begin with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Good morning, everyone. Today is April 25th. Welcome to the Shawnee County Board of County Commissioners. I'm Aaron Mays. I represent District 3. I'm serving as the chair this year. On my left is Commissioner Bill Rippon, representing District 1, and on my right is Commissioner Gavin Cook, representing District 2.
Good morning.
Morning. First item, please.
First item is item 1, proclamations, presentations. Introducing Kathy Mosier, newly appointed Chief Executive Officer at Family Service and Guidance Center, Inc., and the Vallejo Behavioral Health Care first quarter report. Bill Percy.
Good morning, everybody, commissioners, staff, and audience. Before I launch into my report, which shouldn't take more than about an hour and a half, I wanted to introduce Kathy Mosier. She's the new Chief Executive Officer at Family Service and Guidance Center, and just freshly minted right on the job from Salino. So I wanted you to say hi to Kathy this morning.
Yeah.
Also have two of our governing board members here, and as always, here to help represent the public and watch my performance. So I just want to, been trying to kind of change up after about 6.5 years of, coming in here 4 or 5 times a year, and maybe take a little different approach and kind of explain a little bit more some of the specifics of what we do, and not only, to keep you folks posted, but members of the public as well. Again, we thank you for your support. I know that Vallejo and Family Service and Guidance and Breakthrough House here in Topeka just wouldn't be able to do what we do without those valuable local tax dollars. We take every one of them, and they're precious, and we make them go as far as they can. I want to just cover a couple things quickly this morning. You've got a handout there, and I think we got this in about last week for you if you had a chance to preview. I want to focus just for a few minutes this morning, and then I'll, of course, stand for questions or comments about two areas. One, sort of the public safety continuum at Vallejo, and then the other one that we've been referring to as the intersection between behavioral health care and the whole of the criminal justice system. It's a wide and busy intersection, not only locally, but statewide and nationally. So just got a list here of the things that Vallejo does that I think contributes to public safety as best we can. Many of those you're familiar with. We've got the walk-in crisis intervention, the pre-psychiatric hospital screening. We have addictions and detoxification. We've got the crisis stabilization center. Crisis case management, those are case managers, individual bachelor's degrees who work out on the street with people at all kind of odd hours of the day and evening and so forth. Got quick access to psychiatric medication when it's needed. We have our homeless outreach team, been very busy. Mobile Access Partnership, been busier than ever. It's that rolling continuum of social and health and mental health services that you see out there. Maybe you've seen the Rescue Mission's food trailer or their clothing trailer, maybe the Mental Health Center shower trailer, but a busy day at the First United Methodist Church. Last week, I got a report this morning when I got in. There were nearly 3 pages filled with roster, something like 30 people came to that event. Normally, we're looking at 17, 18, or 20, so pretty busy helping folks who are homeless and otherwise underhoused, underhomed. Impact Avenues is a great project where we're able to identify, along with community partners, in real time at a stationary clinic, a continuum of care, families and children, adults who need help of one kind or another. Also do mental health first aid training. We are, by the way, along with the Guidance Center, available to do that and would gladly serve the county's needs in that area. So this maybe just a couple of minutes on the area of law enforcement, the courts, the corrections and community corrections. That whole continuum of criminal justice has a huge intersection, a huge connecting point with behavioral health care, especially public behavioral health, that being mental health care and addictions. I do want to congratulate the commissioners again in Director Cole's leadership and his staff, Tim Phelps and others, for getting the county a resolution passed and signed about this time last year, declaring Shawnee County as a stepping up county. And anybody wants to read about stepping up, you can go to Stepping Up Together. You could just Google that and pull right up and read about how the many ways that counties and others are working all across the country to help keep individuals with mental illness out of jail. If they do have to go to jail, what can we do there to support them? Shawnee County is a leader in that area. And then also when people are being released, and sometimes we don't have a lot of notice on that, but when people are being released, what can we do to create a safety net for those individuals coming out? Jobs, housing, crisis care, things like that. So more recently, because of Director Cole's work and the work of our Intersection Coalition, supported by all the people who attend that, the DA's office, Commissioner Cook attends, others have been participating. The judiciary have moved Shawnee County to a point where the National Stepping Up organization classifies Shawnee County now as an innovator county, which only one of 4 counties in the state. There are about a dozen counties that have passed, your peers across the county, across the state have passed a resolution, but only 4 of those have achieved innovator status. And I know it took some major work at the jail to realign some data and do this and do that. A lot of work there to get us up to innovator status, which will put us in line for policy suggestions and just keep us right out there with other counties. We are doing some advising with some other counties, particularly some smaller ones who want to do something like this, and how can they scale that to a smaller county. So that's moving us along very well. We do understand that there may be some funding coming to expand competency to stand trial evaluations, which we've been doing at the local jail. Dr. Blakely has been meeting that need for years, and we have discovered through a subgroup that we created, Judge Parrish and Commissioner Cook and several others, to create a competency to stand trial evaluation and restoration work group, and through that work, we were able to bring on Larned State Hospital folks who came up and did a pilot at the jail. We demonstrated that we could actually do some restorations at the jail, save several hundred bed days and some trips out to Larned, and I think it's just a really great program. It continues. Hopefully it will grow, and perhaps we'll get some funding for that someday to help Dr. Blakely and others carry on with that work. But I think it's a way, we can shorten some jail time, save some cost, preserve some dignities. The wheels of justice can turn more quickly, and for those involved on that end of it. So I think it'd be great for individuals so charged and their families. But I really think we can save some trips out to Larned State Hospital. I am told that with that work, we kept about 3 people from having to go out to Larned. We were able to do that work locally. I say we. Dr. Barnum, the head of the Competency Stand Trial Program, the competency program at Larned, actually came up here and did that work on site, and that was free of charge. So I want to publicly thank the leadership at Kdsc and the state hospital, as well as folks at the jail for working that into the programming. It's one of the big things that we've worked on. House Bill 2697, which morphed into another piece of legislation right before it passed, 122 to nothing in the House, by the way. I think is either on the governor's desk or on its way. We hope for passage there. I think it will really give our courts some concrete tools and forms and papers and procedures that they can use to get these things done in a more facile manner. We did Brian Cole and Vallejo and some others. We conducted another sequential interstep mapping meeting. The Health Department, Teresa and her crew, were kind enough to take a leadership role there and host about 45 people who got together and figure out, okay, where are the holes in the system where we are addressing the needs, particularly the immediate and urgent needs of people involved in the system. Did some good work there. That was the second one of those. We're planning another one. And so we're on our way there. Trying to maintain and expand the behavioral health liaison program at the jail. In fact, we're advising several other counties who have received a grant to do that. We continue with a substance abuse evaluation, just a couple, 3 other things listed there. But wanted to get up real quick and just give you a picture of sort of the practical ways that Vallejo tries to stay involved with our people in the county and with our policymakers. So with that, I'll stand for questions. I will tell you it's an honor to have Kathy here at Topeka. She's actually coming back to Topeka, having worked at Family Service and Guidance Center before, and was a successful chief executive at this Mental Health Center in Salina, and led that organization, do some great things. So we're glad to have Kathy here in Topeka with us. But we'll stand for questions. Our board members are here, and our time is yours, Commissioner.
Kathy, welcome. Thank you. It's good to meet you in person. So look forward to working together over the next however long. So
good partnership.
Any questions for Bill? Anybody?
Mr. Chairman,
Yes.
Bill, with the legislature, I mean, they're recessed and then coming back. Is there anything that you're looking at coming out of the legislative session this time that would dramatically impact us as we move into our budget season?
We, I'm not sure where it's at. Kathy might know. Jump in there. I think that we're on target to get a 4% increase in our Medicaid rates, which pretty substantial. When half or more of your revenue budget is Medicaid, not Medicare, a 4% increase could mean scores and scores of thousands of dollars just for Vallejo, even just for the rest of the year. I'm not sure if that goes back to January 1 or starts July 1. We anticipate that passing. Have you heard any differently?
Yeah, I believe it passed, but it's the interpretation of what does 4% across the board mean. So Kdsc has recently asked which codes, which services are we talking about, and it should be an across the board. That was the intent.
Good. Yeah, well, there are probably 25 or 30 Medicaid codes that we bill under in community mental health, specific only to your mental health centers. And Kathy, and a 4% across the board would be very, very meaningful to us in terms of cash this year. I don't think there are any increases in the state base grant, but there are some specialty projects brewing out there with nursing homes and children's services and some other things that could be helpful. The kind of funding that is the most helpful is just cash to operate on, to pay the current bills, to keep up with salary. It's very competitive. We have like 60 openings at the mental health center out of about 300 jobs. It's very difficult to fill. But there are some good projects developing. This whole area of criminal justice is developing nicely. We expect some new crisis intervention codes, not codes, but policies and procedures to come out soon that might guide us on being able to do a better job of providing secure beds here in the county, and some good initiatives. But Commissioner, that's all I can think of standing here.
I appreciate it.
I don't think we're hearing a lot of bad news, and several helpful areas.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bill?
Thank you, Bill.
All right.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Thank you.
Take care.
Next item, please.
Item 3, consent agenda.
We have 5 items on the consent agenda today. I would make a motion to approve.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item 4, new business A, County Clerk number 1, consider all voucher payments.
Okay, under Sheriff, CBS Manhattan LLC, $38,857 is for the renewal of an annual maintenance for door access, closed-circuit TV, and intrusion alarm at LEC. Our total vouchers as of April 22nd, 2022, $1,190,631.53. If there's no questions or comments, I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item A2, consider correction orders.
I'll move for approval of the correction orders.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. Next item, please.
Item B, Treasurer, County Clerk number 1, consider approval of request to award a bid for RFQ 026-22 to Mail Services LLC for the printing and mailing of tax statements and to negotiate a minimum 3-year contract.
Good morning, Commissioners. Larry Maw, Shawnee County Treasurer. This is a joint request by Ms. Beck and myself that you accept the bid from Mail Services and authorize the negotiation of a contract to provide printing and mailing of tax statements as well as statements required by SB 13. Mail Services was the low bidder. They have provided that service to us for the last 5 years. We've had excellent service with them. Under the terms of a new contract, I expect a reduction in cost. We currently spend about $60,000 a year for printing and mailing of tax statements. I expect that to be reduced by about $5,000, maybe $6,000. And in addition, SB 13 will require some additional printing, which Ms. Beck is excited about. I'll let her talk about that if she wants to. But we have specific pricing on the bid for that printing.
Yes, this is the year that we start for the revenue neutral rate hearings. We have to send these out to the to all of the taxpayers of the county. So being able to piggyback onto the contract with Larry for Mail Service is going to be really great, because we just don't have any idea what it's going to cost. Now, we got to watch the state budget, because if they include it in their budget, they're supposed to reimburse us for the expense of this mailing, and I don't know for sure what they'll all, but I have no idea what it's going to cost. But I'm pretty sure Betty kept something back in the general fund, because Larry and I don't have it in our budget. So but this is the first of the, and going forward, this was what we'll be doing every year. We'll have to send out these statements to people. So it'll be, we have the appraiser has their big mass mailings. Now, I've never had to before. It was just him and the treasurer. Now it'll be the clerk, the treasurer, and the appraiser will all have these mass mailings. But
In the election office.
well, election office, they only have they only mail 2 on off years, and then the big ones are the on years. That's what everybody said.
So if the state is going to, so to speak, pick up the tab on the Senate Bill 13 mailings, revenue neutral stuff, by doing it in one contract, is that helping or hurting the possibility of that? Are we going to be able to differentiate what is done for this mailing and
yeah,
how much that
right,
mailing
the-
costs.
We will receive an individual invoice
Yeah.
for that.
Okay,
I get individual, Betty gets individual invoices for the first and second half mailings, so we'll be able to see that per the mailing, and then give that to Cindy
Yeah.
to,
I think it'll be better because it's larger than, they're adding an extra mailing into what he normally bids, so I'm thinking, because the bid we received, or he received, was real close to, very, very close to what they were charging right now. There were very few increases, so I thought that was pretty
Yeah.
spectacular.
most of the change was in postage,
Mm-hmm.
which we have no control over
Right.
anyway. And you may have said this, Beck, but I believe the reimbursement from the state is for the first year only. Is
Well,
that
it's
correct?
supposed to be, no, it's supposed to be for the first 2 years.
First 2
but
years, okay.
We have to, it has to be get in the budget. If it's not in the budget, and I don't know if there's, I don't know, I've never actually read through the state budget if it's supposed to be a line item or how they're supposed to do it, so I guess I'll be reading the state budget,
who knows?
yeah.
We have any estimate on what it's gonna cost?
Well, Larry's.
I'm expecting our statements to be around 55,000. We currently spend about 60,000. And given that she does not require envelopes and that sort of thing, I would expect hers to be, and also depends on how many of them she has to send out, because.
Sure.
But we have to send them out to.
So you're probably looking at $20,000 or $30,000 if she has to do a mass mailing.
I'll move to approve the contract.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed?
There's no, excuse me,
Yep.
there is no contract yet. I
I
think we're just-
move to approve the
The
RFP.
RFP, thank you, the
request,
bid, right,
yeah.
okay, I appreciate that.
Okay.
Okay. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you, Larry. Next item, please.
Item C, Department of Corrections, number 1, request approval of Community Corrections fiscal year 2023 grant applications to Kansas Department of Corrections to fund adult services, $1,262,098.74, and juvenile services, $1,572,678 for felony probation.
Good morning, Commissioners. Tim Phelps, Shawnee County Department of Corrections. This is our annual application for grant funds through Kdoc and Kdoc Juvenile Services. It has reduced on the adult side this year because we are separating from 2nd Judicial District, and so this will only cover 3rd Judicial District services and costs. I'll be happy to answer any other questions.
Any questions?
None?
I have none.
Okay, I'll move for approval of the request.
I'll second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Rippon. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you,
Thanks.
Commissioners.
Good luck. Next item, please.
Item D, Information Technology, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-126-2022 with Software House International for 2 Nutanix nodes with software and licensing using State of Kansas contract pricing at a cost of $176,477.77, to be funded using $150,000 of ARPA SLFRF funds at a project, part of a project number 2021-23, and $26,477.77 from an IT project budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. Mark Price, Information Technology. This is just for a purchase of some Nutanix nodes. These nodes will be used to help increase our capabilities on virtualization, and also it's a little bit of preparation for retirement of the original nodes we put in back in, I think it was 2018. A little fun note is the system Nutanix started to replace was a $1.5 million system. When it came up to its 5 years, it would have been a complete rip and replace, costing probably about, if we went with a similar system, about another $1.5 million. By going with Nutanix, it's allowing us to make these small purchases of about 170 to, I'm guessing over the next few years it will go up a little bit more, but instead of about a $300,000 a year cost, we're able to do it in small chunks every year for, like, say, the 176,000 and allow us to keep our systems running and not have huge capital outlay expenses.
Great.
Yeah.
Any questions?
Questions? I would move for approval.
Second.
Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. Next item, please.
Item E, Parks and Recreation, number 1, consider authorization and execution of contract C-127-2022, amendment number 1 to the Wildcat Landscapes Shawnee County contract C-182-2019 for the continued maintenance of parklands listed as packages C, D, and E for 1 year, an increase of 25.9 acres and a 2% cost of living adjustment. Annual fees are noted $81,842.76. For C, D is $67,873.74, and E is $55,080 with funding from the operating budget.
Good morning, Commissioners. John Boyd, Parks and Recreation. We are requesting that you approve this amendment to this contract for 1 more year, and we do anticipate going back out this fall for new bidding this spring. We are asking to add just shy of 26 acres to get some efficiency out of it. Right now we've got duplication of services going on in those parks. Part of the park has been contracted out to a contractor, and then we have staff going there and doing the same thing. So we just feel like it would make more sense to have the contractor do it while they're there. So be happy to answer any questions.
Any questions?
No.
I'll move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Cook, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item F, Election Office. Number 1, consider approval of request to reclassify 3 Office Assistant 2 positions to Office Assistant 3 positions.
Good morning, Commissioners. Jake Fisher, Shawnee County Elections Office. Pardon me, I'm fighting a cold now. Just wanted to visit with you based on the presentation that I provided to you. It has an updated position description and a brief explanation of our request. Just to hit the high points, we've got 3 individuals. They've all been at our office for over a year. 2 out of the 3 have their bachelor's degree. The 3rd person will have her bachelor's degree next month. They have done exceptional work in our office. And since the time they've been there, they have met and now exceeded everything that's asked of them and expected of them as an OA2. And actually, for the last several months, they have already been doing the work that one would expect based on the position description for an OA3. And I've been working with the HR department for the last several months to try to get this put together and to look at this. But one thing I wanted to stress with this is a promotion based on these specific individuals. This is not a reclassification where we're asking this to be made permanent forever from this day forward. As I said in the last part of the statement that I provided to you, if or when one of these individuals would decide to either get promoted to another position or move on, we would then come back before you, ask that that position be reclassified back down to an OA2, and essentially start the process again. But we've looked at this from the standpoint that these folks have had extra duties added to them. They've continued to be exceptional at what they do. And with a small office of 10 people, we want to essentially reward them for the hard work that they've done by this promotion. And the other question, I know that Ms. Grinder and I have had several spirited discussions regarding this, and we would be able to cover this increased expense within our budget. And I'd stand for any questions.
Questions for Jake?
I'd move for approval.
I'll second. Motion's been made by Commissioner Rippon, seconded by Commissioner Mays. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0.
Thank you.
Thank you. Next item, please.
Item 5, public comment.
I don't have any members of the public signed up. Is there anyone wishing to speak today? Seeing none, next item.
6, administrative communications.
Okay. Any employees wishing to speak today?
Good morning, Commissioners. Teresa Fisher with the Director of the Health Department. I am excited today to announce that we are getting ready to open our free COVID drive-through testing. So our community has been without a free drive-through site since the state closed their mass public testing sites on April 1st. So we have opened up our new one. It will be directly south of the J.P. Lewis location off of McVicker. So the actual address is 2701 Southwest East Circle Drive. There's a red site box that most of the community is familiar to see there. There's a circular drive that they'll go through there. We will officially open for business starting tomorrow. Our hours are going to be Tuesdays and Fridays from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. Those hours and days are subject to change based on the need that our community has for testing. This will be rapid antigen test. The results will be provided within the same day, a lot of times within the same hour. Individuals are encouraged to register ahead of time. They can either do that on our website or through our social media pages, but they can also register when they get there. So if they don't have registration done, there's no problem. And then they'll either provide a phone number or an email that those test results will be sent to. So we're excited to offer this to our community and encourage this as part of our response to the endemic. Any questions?
Any questions?
Yeah, are you seeing many cases right now?
Cases are definitely down. We've had a couple of weeks where we've seen a little bit of an uptick, so we continue to monitor those. Nothing that's of grave concern right now, but certainly we're watching cases, of course, across in Europe and on the coast and what's happening with subvariants and that not. So our infectious disease division is closely monitoring everything right now.
Good. Any other questions? All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Teresa. Anyone else? All right, Commissioner Rippon.
Well, been kind of busy. I attended Barry Feeker's retirement, and it was an event. There were hundreds of people there. It was very well attended, and it was amazing to see the whole body of work and his history here in Topeka. So he will be missed in that position. So anyway, also I volunteered the night at Tulips at twilight when they had the deluge, all the rain, and we had to shut down early. We started losing electricity out there, which is hard on a light show. But anyway, I think their last night was probably very good on Sunday. And then yesterday I helped put in bricks at the War Memorial for most of the day, and put in a lot of bricks. It's always good to talk to the veterans and hear their stories about their service. So it's a good afternoon.
Commissioner Cook.
I attended the NOTO Gala on Saturday night. It was a good event, and fundraiser for the NOTO area, and so good to see the community come out and support them.
Yeah, absolutely. I had the honor of attending the Department of Corrections graduation. Commissioner Rippon joined us as well. I think we had 17 people graduate from their academy. Some of them had already been working there for a while, but hadn't had an opportunity to go through the academy yet. So that's exciting, trying to get our staffing levels back up at the jail, and hopefully that makes a good dent in that effort. So don't have much else to report other than that we will not be meeting this Thursday. Yep, that's all I got. So next item, please.
Item 7, executive session.
We do have a need for an executive session, so I will move that we go into executive session for a period not to exceed 30 minutes for the following reasons. 15 minutes will be to discuss personnel matters of non-elected personnel, specifically in the planning office, to discuss employer-employee negotiations, whether or not in consultation with the representative or representatives of the public body or agency, specifically to discuss wage negotiations with bargaining units. That'll be another 15 minutes. And then for consultation with an attorney for the public body or agency, which would be deemed privileged in the attorney-client relationship, for the same issues. No action is expected following this executive session.
Second.
Okay, so a motion's been made by Commissioner Mays, seconded by Commissioner Cook. Those in favor say aye. Opposed? Motion passes 3-0. We'll be in executive session beginning at 9:35. Our council. All right. It was almost perfect timing.
Yes.
So we are back from executive session. No action was taken. We are adjourned.